Hey friends! I'm Grace Ann.
And I'm Andrea.
And this is GNA for Today.
We are two best friends living a faith-based lifestyle
and documenting it.
Be sure you watch last week's video, which will be linked in the description, and that was a video about my trip to Europe.
This week we're talking all about a Christian's view on makeup and vanity. So we're going to dive into that in a little bit and I'll explain what that means and what it looks like. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It's that red little button down below the video. You can't miss it. Click that button and click the bell right beside of it so you get notifications every time we post a video. So first off, to kind of kick off this video, I wanted to explain what made us want to do this video and kind of what this video means. So, essentially, we wanted to make this video because we feel like, especially in the Christian world, for women and for girls and young women, makeup and vanity can be a topic that's really confusing, right? It can kind of feel like something taboo, and it can also feel like something that you're being shamed for, or something that, in some cases, that you feel a really negative impact from. And we want to try and change the conversation a little bit. We want to try and educate you on what the Bible actually says about makeup and vanity, and about how relationships with makeup and relationships with vanity are linear, and how you can have a good relationship with makeup but also have a good relationship with vanity, and how those can be equal and run parallel with each other, but also how they can crisscross, and how easy it is to get those two things confused. So that's kind of what made us want to do this video. We want to talk about all the different points of vanity in a bigger sense, and then touch on the points of makeup and feeling pretty and modesty and stuff like that. So we think it's going to be a really good video. I'm really excited about it. This is one that's been on our docket for quite a while, and it's one that I'm really excited to make.
This whole topic is so prevalent in today's society, just with so many Instagram influencers and so many people on social media, so many people on YouTube. It's so easy to look to them and dress like them because you like them and you strive to be like them, or do your makeup like them, do your hair like them, eat what they eat. And I feel like a lot of times we lose our sense of identity when we do things like that. It's fine to have role models and people we look up to, but it can be dangerous whenever we are changing who we are to fit the mold of someone who we don't even know. So we hope that this video will just make the point that our beauty is within us. It has nothing to do with what we wear. So if you wear the same clothes as your favorite Instagram influencer, it's not going to make you any more beautiful in God's eyes.
So I wanted to talk about vanity versus modesty. What is the difference? What do each of those mean? And how are they relevant to this video? So we're using Merriam-Webster's dictionary online, because who actually uses a real dictionary anymore? Shout out to you if you do, because I don't. But the definition of vanity, as said by Merriam-Webster's dictionary, is inflated pride in oneself or one's appearance. See also conceit. Okay. Then the definition of modesty, also by Merriam-Webster's dictionary, is the quality of not being too proud or confident about yourself or your abilities. Version number 2, propriety in dress, speech, or conduct. Okay, so when we think about vanity, we think about pridefulness, we think about conceitedness, we think about someone who someone who only cares about what other people think, right? Someone who is not humble, who is not meek, someone who is very prideful, very arrogant, very narcissistic in personality, right? That's what we associate with vanity, because that is what vanity means. But when we say something like modesty, we think of someone who's humble, someone who's kind, someone who may care what people think of them, but cares about that in a positive way. Sorry, there's a little like fuzz going around. Okay. Someone who values the way that they present themselves, right? That's what modesty means. It's a sense of humbleness, a sense of not being prideful, but also not being very show-offish, right? It's a good balance. So I think that this is really relevant to this video because while we're talking about makeup and vanity, we need to be aware that there's a difference between vanity and modesty. Now, we're going to dive into some Bible verses here in a minute. And you're going to hear us talk about vanity versus modesty. Okay? You're going to hear us talk about the Bible saying this is what vanity is. Don't do this because it's vanity. But listen to me here. Okay? Listen. Vanity is what we are straying away from. Modesty is what we are working towards. Modesty in cases of makeup, in cases of dress, and in cases of show are important. Okay? They are so important. They're important when you're a Christian, and they're important when you are, they're important when you're, for everyone, okay? Let's just be real. Please be modest, friends. I don't want to see all you junk, okay? But it's really important when you are an outspoken Christian believer because people are looking at everything you do as a Christian. And I'm sorry, but that's how it is. Suck it up, buttercup. I don't know what other way to put it. Like, if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, people are watching you, and that's just how it is. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, it's a double standard. Whatever. Who cares? If you're living for Jesus and you're doing what's right, you don't care what they think. I promise you, you don't. Yeah, sometimes you'll get down in yourself, and Satan will be like creeping up on you, being like, they said this about you, they said that. What? But come on, Satan has already lost the battle. Okay, so he doesn't matter. He's irrelevant. Goodbye. Modesty is important because when people look at you and say, "Wow, you're so modest. Wow, you're so humble. Wow, you never wear revealing clothes. You never." You never put too much makeup on your face. You never show off. Like, anytime you're doing something, you do it for you or because you know it's right. They're going to be like, why do you do those things? Why do you care? Why do you try to be so different than everyone else? You're going to be like, because I am different. Because I want to honor Jesus with my body, with my life, before I do anything else. Because that's what we should do as Christians. We should honor our bodies for the Lord. Our bodies, what we wear, what we say, what we put on our face, what we listen to, who we see, all of that should be done with honor to God. And if you can't look at yourself, look at your wardrobe, look at your makeup collection, look at whatever, if you can't do any of that while saying, yeah, I could wear that to church, or yeah, I could do that. Like, I could take my makeup and go do my makeup in church. Or, I can wear pretty much any outfit to church or whatever. If you can't say that, you probably need to do a little bit of a self-reel-in, self-check-in. Because, if you're ever going out somewhere and you're in an outfit that you're like, ooh, hope my pastor doesn't see me tonight, like, that's cause for concern. And that's that's like going through the vanity thing, because when you put that outfit on that it's gonna make others want to look at you. And you knew that. Whether you consciously knew it or not, you knew it. You need to be careful to honor God first with what you wear, with what you say, with what you do. And I think that is a big, 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 big part of being a Christian woman. My dog is being very annoying. Please stop crying. I think it's a very important part of being a Christian woman is to learn modesty. And some people might not think that that's fair, and some people might say that's a double standard. and whatever. But I mean, the same goes for men too. Like, if a guy's walking around with cut off t-shirts and like shorts that are way too short and are too tight on their butt or whatever, like, I mean, people are going to talk about that, and it's the truth. And if he's trying to say, yeah, I'm a down-to-earth Christian guy, but he's going out wearing all these tacky outfits or wearing stuff that's clinging to him or showing off parts of his body, like, people are not going to believe him. So it's not a double standard. It's not just for girls. It's for everyone. You should honor God with your entire being, with what you wear, what you say, and what you do. Okay, can I say that enough? Can I just say that enough? Okay.
In Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 4, it says, "Then I observed that most people are motivated to success because they envy their neighbors, but this too is meaningless, like chasing the wind." And that kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier about how the whole issue of vanity is so prevalent in our society, but a lot of times we strive to be successful because we're envious of these other people who are successful. We strive to dress a certain way because we're envious of these people who look beautiful when they dress that way. And it's important for us to know, in the Bible it says this is meaningless, like chasing the wind. You are never going to find what you're looking for whenever you are comparing yourself to others. You're not going to find your identity, you're not going to find self-worth, you're not going to find anything, because that is only and solely in Christ.
Okay, so I'm going to be reading our what am I reading? I'm going to be reading our verse out of 1 Peter. It is 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 3 through 4, and we're reading from the NIV. So it says, verse 3, "Your beauty should not come from outward adornment such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight." Oh, speaking some truth. Going back to the whole vanity, modesty thing, this verse lays it out pretty much exactly like it needs to be. Okay, so we know that this is in the New Testament, right? So this is after Jesus, right? So these are the retellings of Jesus' teachings and what Jesus has, taught people, told people throughout his time on earth, and then after death, the time that he spent teaching for a little bit and then came back to heaven. Okay, we get it. We all know what we're talking about. So, verse 3 says, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit. Okay, when we think about a gentle, quiet spirit and inner beauty, right, we think of someone who is humble and kind and who is seeking to honor God first, right? So that directly falls in line with modesty versus someone who is vain, right? So if you are seeking God and you're seeking to be more like Jesus, to honor the Lord with all your mind, heart, and soul, then you will be following a path of modesty. Therefore, you don't have to worry about vanity. And you won't be worrying about the things that you wear or the things that you say or how you put on your makeup or whatever, because you'll be following where the Father is leading you, and He's not going to lead you down a path of vanity, because that's not what He desires for you or from you. If you're seeking the Lord, He will guide you, and if you're asking Him to walk in His will, then you will be walking there. And I promise you that God is not going to lead you down a path of vanity. Okay? He's not going to, because He knows when you're truly following Him that you are yearning for a quiet and gentle spirit, for one that honors Him. So He's going to provide you the steps to attain that, which I think is amazing. Like a thank you, Jesus moment. So, here's my personal, honest, raw opinion. Okay? So don't come for me, okay? I'm being real, I'm being transparent, I'm being raw and honest, and if I say something offensive, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend you, I'm just being real. So, I think that as a Christian, that you should honor God with all that you say and all that you do. And I think that, okay, here's the real deal. Okay, I'm not gonna try and tiptoe. I'm just gonna say things. Okay, I'm just gonna say things. Okay, let's start. So I think that, honestly, I don't have a problem with people wearing makeup. I don't. I love makeup. And when I have time to do it, I love doing my makeup. Okay, it's like something I'm actually decent at, and I can make my face look pretty good whenever I sit down and try and put on my makeup and whatever. But it's not something I feel the need to do every day. And I had a very strained relationship with makeup and vanity when I was a teenager, and I was struggling. Okay, I would go to school, well, in my early teenage years. In my late teenage years, I had sort of gotten to where I am now, but in my early teenage years, I would not go to school without makeup on, and I refused to go to school without makeup on. Like, if I woke up and didn't have time to do my makeup before I went to school, then I would just not go. Or if I was sick and didn't feel like putting on makeup or whatever, I wouldn't go, purely because I was not feeling like doing my makeup, not because I was sick. I would go to school sick all the time because I was sick all the time. Okay, so that led me through some deep trouble, because I didn't like the way that I looked. I didn't think that I dressed nice enough. I didn't think that my pants were tight enough. I didn't think that my my boobs were big enough. I didn't think that I fit in, right? And that was not true at all. And I was doing all of this because I wanted, because I cared what other people thought of me. And all the while, I was not having any idea I didn't care about what Jesus thought of me. All I cared about was what the people at school around me thought of me and what they would say about me if I showed up to school with no makeup on or wearing an old outfit or whatever. So, that led me down a dark road, and I was really scared and timid, and I didn't have a lot of friends, and I was very depressed and sad and whatever. And I eventually had this breaking point where I was like, okay, God, why, what is going on? What am I doing? And so I had a time and period in high school where I just stopped wearing makeup altogether. The only time I wore makeup was for color guard competitions where I had to wear makeup on the field. But other than that, I never wore makeup. And I forced myself to not wear makeup at school because I needed to teach myself how to be okay with the me that God made. And that took a lot. But I think that everyone needs to be at that place in their life. And I think that if you are not okay wearing no makeup out in public purely because of how others will see you, then that's an issue. Now, I like wearing makeup because I like doing makeup. I like how I feel when I wear makeup. But now, when I wear makeup because I want to wear makeup. Because I feel like wearing makeup, but not because I feel like I need it. And I think that that is a healthy relationship with makeup and not a vain relationship. So I think that a vain relationship with makeup and one that will lead you towards vanity is a relationship with makeup where you feel like you have to wear it all the time. You can never be seen out in public without it because, what will people think? Oh my goodness. If you have that view on makeup, I think you need to reevaluate, because it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't. It really doesn't. At the end of the day, on Judgment Day, end of the day, the only thing that matters is your relationship with God. And if if God is like,
Girl, I couldn't get through to you because you cared about everybody else around you.
then that's a you issue, okay? That is a you and God issue. And that needs to be fixed. But if you are like, okay, I like wearing makeup, but it doesn't have a hold over me. Like if I have to go out in public without doing my makeup because I was late or whatever, fine, no big deal. If you have that type of relationship with makeup, I think you're all right. I think you're fine. If you are striving to be modest and humble and you still feel like putting on makeup, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I consider myself to be a pretty modest person. Yes, I wear V-neck stuff. Like, this looks like cleavage, but it's really just my scar. Like, that it's not. Okay, anyway. Like, if you are being modest with your clothes and with the things that you say and the things that you do, I don't think that wearing makeup is going to cause any harm to that. Like, I don't think that there's a correlation there. Now, I do think if you are getting dressed in the morning and the only thing that you're thinking about is, oh, what's so-and-so at work going to say? Or like, oh, what's so-and-so at school going to say? Like, I wonder if they'll like this outfit or like whatever. Like, if you're thinking stuff like that, you probably got an issue. And I also have this rule, and this goes for guys and girls too, okay? If you can't raise your hands up in the air, like all the way up in the air, which I can not really do because of my surgery, but if you can't raise your arms up in the air, bend over and touch your toes, if you can't do that without showing anything, that's not the outfit for you, that's not the dress for you, that is not, no, just no. I always say, lift your arms up, bend over, touch your toes. If anything shows, change clothes. That's words to live by, guys. Words to live by. But my personal opinion is, I don't think that makeup, I don't think it's vain to wear makeup as long as you're wearing it because you want to wear it and because it makes you feel good. But I think if you are wearing makeup purely to please others and people around you, then I think you need to take a step back from wearing makeup all the time and see how it changes you, see how you feel.
I think one thing that's important to think about is why you're doing something. Like, whenever you dress up one day to wear a dress to class or whatever, ask yourself why, and honestly answer that question. Like, if you're saying because I want to impress a boy, because I want to just look like I fit in with everyone else, I want to look all trendy, those are not the reasons to dress up and look cute. If you ask yourself, why am I looking cute today, and you say, oh, it's just because I love the way I feel whenever I dress up, like, that's a good answer. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it to please other people. You're not doing it to fit into a certain crowd. So that's just the one thing I try to think about whenever I dress up, whenever I do my hair all nice, whenever I do my makeup all nice. Like, I'm not doing it to please other people. I'm doing it because I enjoy it and because I like the way it makes me feel whenever I put effort into my appearance. Thank y'all so much for watching. We hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did.
Next week's video will be all about my new normal. It'll be kind of like a day in the life-ish type feel, but it won't be a day in the life because we have one of those coming soon. Ooh, spoilers. It'll probably be like me talking about my medicine regimen and what time I have to get up, what time I go to bed, what are the things that I have to do to manage my pain during the day, stuff like that. So if you are interested in that, make sure you've already hit that subscribe button. So make sure that you tune in next week for that.
Bye, friends.